Hello. Hello, hello. Hey, guys. Hello, girl mom. Hello. Hey, Anonymous. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? You know I can't do this YouTube nonsense. You were just watching my last stream? You can hear me? Good. I wanted to talk about, I got so many messages recently in the last little bit, guys, talking about, people are asking me what Gypsy's charges were and if she, is there a rumor stating that she's not a convicted murderer? Hey, Sharon in Myrtle Beach. Is this your first live with me, Social Fly? Hey, guys. So everybody keeps asking if she is actually a convicted murderer. I don't know what prompted this. I just got hella messages, guys. Gypsy Rose is in fact a convicted murderer. Period, point blank. She is in fact a convicted murderer. That's just the way it is. Everyone keeps saying, well, I was told she isn't a convicted murderer. She took a plea deal. Yes, with a plea deal means she pled guilty to second-degree murder, which means she stated she is in fact guilty of second-degree murder, which means she is a murderer. I don't know as far as she is a convicted murderer. She's not a celebrity. There's a big difference. Yes, Donna, I completely agree with you. You know what, Susan? So I just got a crap ton of messages stating that they're hearing that she's not a convicted murderer. She absolutely took a plea deal. She pled guilty, guys, to second-degree murder. So she is in fact a convicted, well, she's not convicted, but she is in fact a murderer. That's it. End of discussion. She did in fact plead guilty to second-degree murder. She absolutely was originally facing first-degree charges, but because of the plea deal, it was moved down and booted down to second degree. And yes, second-degree murder, which means she pled guilty to second-degree murder. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know where people are saying that she's not. Yes, second-degree murder. Absolutely. She is, in fact, a felon. She is, in fact, a murderer. Have you seen the video, Good Abuse to Dee Dee? No, I haven't seen that video. Oh, thank you, Buffy. Hello. So yeah, I don't know why people are just like, you keep saying that she's a murderer, a convicted murderer. Yeah, she is. She was charged. She wasn't, you know what I mean? She did not have a trial, but she had to plead guilty to second-degree murder, which means she admitted she is in fact a murderer. And she had to do that for parole as well, because parole, I'm assuming, needs you to admit your charges. You can't just say, I plead guilty to second-degree murder, but I'm not really one. No. They're stating that you said you are in fact guilty of second-degree murder, and your response was yes. Her own attorney said if she went to trial, she would die in prison. Absolutely. I absolutely believe that. She absolutely. How do you can't, murder should never be condoned. I haven't seen Starlight stream from today. I have to go watch it. It was a little earlier than I'm used to being on, but I do have to go watch Starlight's live stream. The Bro Squad admitted to trolling people in the community. I believe it. She should have gone to trial. Can I tell you, I wish she did, guys. I wish that this chick went to trial. Nobody would love to watch a trial with her more than me. Unfortunately, they knew better. That would have been a hot mess. That would have been a circus between the publicity of her being, this poor sick kid and the fraud. And then, then she's screaming, I'm an abuse victim. That would have been a publicity nightmare. Yes, guys, please don't forget to hit the like button so I can boost my YouTube channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you for reminding me. This is the first time, Cosmic, you've caught me on live. I think this is like my third or fourth time. Hey, canceled. What did she do with her time in there for 8 years? Well, she concocted this whole story. I am sure that she concocted this entire story with Christy. That's what she did for 8 years, in my opinion. She came up with this entire profitable story that she can go tell the world and make money off of. Poor me, the poor victim. That's what she did for 8 years. That and, well, she had to find men, you know what I mean? Made prison energy drinks and lived in fantasy land. That's what I'm saying. She is, in fact, a convicted felon. I don't know. Where is this? Why are people coming at me with this? If I read you guys my messages, like, did you lie and tell me that she's a convicted? No, she is, in fact, a convicted murderer. She was originally charged with first-degree murder, guys. They pled her down to second degree. She had to say, yes, I am guilty of second-degree murder in order for that plea deal to go through. Second-degree murderer. You don't end up on parole without a conviction. That's what I'm saying. Are people? So are you guys trying to say that she wasn't convicted because she didn't have a trial? Is that what you guys are coming at me with? Is it the word convicted you guys are like? Yes. It changes every time. Yeah. She's a convicted felon. You don't just take a plea deal and then go home at the end of the day. Absolutely. Her home was Chillicothe for 8 years. Oh, holla, Mom, I see. Is that why they're all coming at me with, is she actually a convicted felon? Like, is she actually a convicted murderer? Yes. Yes. She did, in fact, admit that she was guilty of second-degree murder. So, there's that. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, holla, Mom. On parole and still a ward of the state, so she's probably not going to be able to keep her child. That, Mercy, I can't speak intelligently on. That I'm not sure. Canceled may know. I know Canceled is been looking into like the whole charges and you know what I mean, stuff like that. So Canceled, you may know. I've noticed she repeats her scripted talking points a lot. Her favorite is my part. Oh, Gypsy. Yeah, her part is the entire murder. Guys, her part is the entire murder. Dee Dee would not have been murdered. Dee Dee would not be dead if it weren't for Gypsy Rose Blanchard, period, point blank. I don't care that she used Nicholas Godejohn as a murder weapon, because that's what she did. She is, in fact, the murderer. She used Nicholas Godejohn as the weapon. And in fact, I was reading a page from her book today. I made the video over on TikTok, but I was reading a page from her first book today where she, in fact, admits to Nick being the tool. She in fact admits to Nick being her tool, which means Nick was in fact the murder weapon and she was the murderer. You guys use your heads. Gypsy is not a convicted murderer. She took a plea deal, so they can't take her baby from her. So you mean to tell me if she would have stood trial and they would have convicted her that way, she would then be a murderer? But the fact that she pled guilty and told the judge, yes, I'm guilty of second-degree murder, means she's not a murderer equally? What does that even mean? I'm not sure what that means. That makes no sense to me. So if I admit the guilt of the murder, I'm not a murderer? But a judge will award the nonviolent felon custody almost every time, and second degree is a violent felon charge. Absolutely, second degree is a violent felony. A judge will award the nonviolent felon. Yeah, canceled. Yeah, you may want to do a post on that, canceled. Just because, I don't know. But I know you've researched it, and so I take what canceled says. Let me pull up the Louisiana law on second-degree murder. Yes. Did you want to come up, canceled? I don't know if you're available to come up. It means that the person wrote that comment is a true idiot. Well, there's that. If Gyp weren't here, Dee Dee wouldn't have been murdered. Gypsy orchestrated the entire murder of, Gypsy orchestrated the entire murder of Dee Dee. She planned it. She picked Nick. She used Nick as the weapon and made sure that Nick pulled it off. So she is in fact the one responsible for Dee Dee being dead. Hold on, let me send this link to you.
What do you do?
Throw the StreamYard. I'm trying. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, I'm coming. Sorry, y'all. There you go, canceled. To me, he was a hired hitman. Same difference. Yeah, I agree. Becca Scoop showed email of Dee Dee telling Christy during a hurricane that Christy, hold on, that went really fast. Becca Scoop showed an email of Dee Dee telling Christy during a hurricane that Christy, Rod, and the kids could come stay with her and Gyp. Doesn't sound like Dee Dee was trying to keep them away from Gyp or hiding anything. So did I post that video? I didn't. I have it, and I will post that video here on YouTube. But I just did a video, speaking of that, about how I really believe that Rod and Christy were more involved with Gypsy and Dee Dee than they are telling people that they were. And I believe that, hey, canceled.
Hey.
I believe that they kind of knew what was going on, to be honest with you. I really do. I believe they were a lot closer than what they're letting on. I believe that they knew about the scamming and the fraud to an extent, and that they allowed it just so, you know what I mean? Just so Rod can be like, you guys do you, I'm going to do my little family over here, and we'll keep in contact. But I really believe that Rod and Christy were more involved than what they said. And the only reason Rod and Christy are saying that they weren't involved and they couldn't find her and all of this was because then he would be held responsible for knowing about the fraud and not doing anything about it.
Absolutely. So the second degree murder charge, it's
If he's allowed that baby, then the system is corrupt. You know what? I feel like for a convicted murderer to have a baby, now I get it's everybody's right to procreate and have a baby. But I feel like if you're going to be a convicted felon, you know how we don't allow them to vote? We should probably put a time limit on, you need to go through intensive therapy and go through checks before you're allowed to have a baby in your custody. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
And how does Rod not have a microdeletion, but Gypsy does? And none of the other kids who belong to Rod do. Did anyone ever think about that one? Well, who says Rod doesn't have the microdeletion? Gypsy is a murderer, period. She's guilty. She's violent and capable of murdering. So, did anybody catch my live with Becca Scoops the other day?
It was so good.
She was telling us how she's going to put out another video. And this time she's bringing up something that covers what I consider to be motive. And I feel like because of this motive that I personally have settled with, I do believe she can reoffend again. Absolutely, 100%. Will she? I don't know. But could she? Absolutely. Very easily. Oh, you missed it? Another Brit. I wanted to check with Becca before I uploaded my TikTok live over here on YouTube, because she kind of did give a lot of information and I wasn't comfortable just uploading it here without talking to her first, but I did email her and she told me that it was okay for me to upload that TikTok live. And so as soon as we're done here, I will get that live up so you guys can see what she said. Motive was the cash. I don't believe so, Golden Brown. Not in my opinion. Only because of, Becca Scoops kind of put something in my brain that really made sense and totally, it gave me a motive. I was so confused on what the motive could have possibly been. But now I finally have a motive that I can see, and it all makes sense to me now. From what I looked up, recliner detective, a second-degree murder charge, because CPS will step in to evaluate the situation to make sure the mother is capable of caring for the baby. I am sure, recliner detective, that is in fact what will happen. Because if anything happens to that baby, then who is going to be responsible? Parole?
Yeah, and
I'm
putting in the.
They will have welfare checks for that baby.
I'm putting in the chat the
I saw
link
today that Ken was very seriously ill and nobody knows why, not even his own doctor, but they're suspecting Gyp has struck again. The motive was probably Dee Dee was cramping her dating life. Raunchy Ruby's playhouse was probably going to be closed permanently, and it very well could have had something to play into that, maybe. Where'd you go, canceled? You there, Mercy? Am I not hearing you guys?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, canceled. There you are.
Okay, so I want to you guys, let me.
I think you're going in and out, canceled. I did see that those messages might be from 2019. She didn't want to take care of her mother. That's definitely a possibility. Mercy, you there?
Violent felon, and I did post and I made a video today. There is from a couple lawyer offices that do family law in the state of Louisiana. Judges will award custody if it's a misdemeanor, but if it's something as a violent crime, and that includes first-degree murder, second-degree murder, sex trafficking, or SA of a child, they typically do not award custody to that parent. So, for example, I'm not saying if Ken and Gypsy broke up and they didn't come up with an agreement for split custody and he took her to court, he more than likely would get custody of that child, and she would have to have supervised visitation because of the murder charge, which is she was charged with second-degree murder and took a plea and pleaded guilty to second-degree murder.
Right. But that's only if he decides to take her to court for custody.
Yes. Yes,
Absolutely.
they can come up with a joint custody agreement privately, or with family court. But if she's not willing to work and he wants full custody, 9 times out of 10, from what I've read, the judge will rule in his favor.
They're always going to err to the side of caution and put that baby in the safest place possible. So yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. That's so yeah, but again, that's only if he decides to take her for custody. Now, as far as going home with the child, I am pretty sure. Now, I don't know Louisiana state. I've never worked in Louisiana. I can't speak on Louisiana. I do know, however, in my state, that if you're sitting there and you're a convicted murderer and you've got, a whole history of this, your nursing case manager is going to speak with you, and I am sure that somebody will have that baby checked on just to play it on the safe side. So I'm sure that when she's discharged, there will probably be some kind of CPS visit just to make sure that baby's safe.
Yeah, and sometimes I know when I have never been involved with CPS, but I know people who have had children and CPS has come to evaluate in the hospital as well, after after the child is born, and may do a home visit just to see that she has everything, like a crib set up and a safe and warm environment. But I don't think CPS would just take her baby.
No, I don't believe. No, they won't. They won't.
I did look up CPS information, and there's nothing stating that they would. The only time CPS will intervene is if the child is in immediate danger. But just because you're a felon, that does not mean that your child's in immediate danger.
Right.
So, and
Yep,
if the other, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. And again, nobody, or at least I can't speak for everybody here, but I don't want, what is worse for the child, guys, though? Let's be honest. Let's look at this with complete honesty and unbiased, okay? What is better for that child? To be stuck in a system that, if you know anything about the system, it's not the best place to be in. You're talking foster homes, you're talking group homes, you're talking, the whole system is all messed up, unfortunately. Or is it safer for that baby to go home where there's Raina and there's Ken, and I will give credit, guys, where credit's due, Christy and Rod. And I say that because look at Mia and Dylan. They turned out very well, in my opinion. So, you know what I mean? Like, what would be better for that child? I know people are concerned for the safety and well-being of the child, but what is better for that child? What is safer? The system? Or there's more family than just Gypsy. And I feel like, if I'm going to be honest, you know what I mean? I feel like they're not going to let anything happen to that baby. Just because, think about it. If something does, we're automatically going to accuse Gypsy. So that baby's going to be watched. Sure, there's absolutely nothing wrong, because look what we did, or look what the social media did as far as calling her parole. The woman couldn't blink incorrectly without someone being like, she's sending, blink messages to Nick, call the parole office. Like, you think that for 1 second she's not, she doesn't know that if that baby is not in tip-top shape, that the public is going to bring it to the attention of CPS?
Correct. She will be under. Yeah, she will be under a microscope too. Everybody's going to be watching what she's doing out in public with that baby.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure she'll be on her best P's and Q's out in public. Now, emotionally, maybe there's issues with that child having the being stigmatized by having their mother murder their grandmother and being Gypsy Rose, who is, out there for the whole world to see with the show forever. But physically, I don't think, like you said, Christy or Rod is going to allow or even can anything to happen to that baby. So,
Yeah, I really do believe that. Thank you, Susan Ryan. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I agree. Now, I also agree with you. Hold on, I'm going to move and try and get comfy here, guys. I'm also going to agree with you as far as the stigma of Gypsy Rose. I really believe that is where a lot more of the concern should be, or at least it is for me. That child is going to grow up being the daughter of a convicted murderer, being the daughter of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who had Nicholas Godejohn kill her mother. That child is going to grow up and be exactly that. That child's identity, is own personal identity, is at risk because why do we all know who Melissa Moore is? Who is Melissa Moore, guys? Who is she? The one that wrote her book? Who is she? Nobody knows who Melissa Moore is?
I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. I want somebody to. Does anybody know?
The daughter of the Smiley killer. Yes. Yes. That is how we know her. Does anybody know Melissa Moore for anything other than being the daughter of a serial killer? I don't. Anybody? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know her because she wrote Gypsy's book. I don't know of her I know of her because she is the daughter of a killer. And so the same stigma that Melissa Moore walks around with, why is she known? Does she have an actual identity? No, not really. Because she's only known because she carries the weight of the title of her father and what he did and who he killed. And so her exact identity issues are going to be the same for this little girl, Aurora. She is going to be known as the daughter of Gypsy Rose, who killed her mother, who made sure that her boyfriend stabbed her mother 17 times in the back and practically decapitated her. That is how that little girl is going to be known. She's also going to be known as the product of an adulterous affair. I know that sounds horrible. People keep coming at me like, that's so harsh and that's so mean. But what do we know about Gypsy Rose? We know she's a murderer. We know she murdered her mother. We know that Gypsy Rose is, she's a hoe. So there's that. We know we know her because she cheated on her husband, Ryan, to get with a guy she wasn't married with and became pregnant. So that child is also going to be known as the product of this adulterous affair that she went around bragging about for all of the world to see. You know what I mean? Like
on a show. On a show.
On a TV show, on social media, on news. I mean, she went on What's Her Face's and did an interview talking about, no, we absolutely know that the guy I'm not married to is definitely the baby's father. Again, we're going back to, I can't with this. This is one of those things that just, it drives me nuts. Because again, I've never seen anybody in my entire freaking existence be so proud of their affair. So proud
Me
that
neither.
the baby doesn't belong to the husband. So, you know.
And can you hear me?
Hey, Mercy.
Hey, Mercy.
I got a question. Does Melissa Moore have any children?
What's that?
Not much. Does Melissa Moore have any children?
I don't believe she does, but I'm not sure. Again, the only thing I know about her is who her father is. And now she wrote a book for Gypsy Rose.
Yep, me too.
Does anybody know?
It would be nice to know if she does have children.
Hold on, I'm about to Google. Google.
And while she's Googling. Who do you guys know have profited off of the death of their mother when they got out of prison and their whole
Oh,
family?
two children.
Oh,
Happy
Wow.
Face Killer's daughter, Melissa Moore, is married. The couple has children together, a daughter, Aspen, and a son, Jake.
Says a lot about her.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
she makes
So,
good money though.
I can't wait to see how has to explain to her daughter that she can't go to Disney.
right? I mean, how do you even go about, guys, explaining this? I mean, I'm a mother. I've had to sit down and I've had to talk to my kids about so many things. I've had to have so many of those conversations. I can't imagine sitting my child down and being like, okay, listen, you're old enough for Google. You're old enough for TikTok or Instagram or whatever. You're going to find out that I killed your biological grandmother. How do you even have that conversation? I don't know. I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
How do you even begin a conversation like that?
Wait, Ivory should just tell her daughter to watch the documentary and read her books. Ain't that the truth? So she could sit there and watch, the story about how she sat in a bathtub with her grandpappy. Like, come on, I can't. And all about the alien abductions that we're about to find out in the next book.
You know what's funny? You said that a while ago. The next book will have alien abductions, and then there's been those UFO sightings.
Oh my God, that is so funny. If I see the word alien or sex trafficking in that book, I'm telling you right now, I can't even. You'll listen, you will get a rant that night. I promise you, you will never hear the end of it, guys. You'll never hear the end of it. I can't.
How many times did she move? You guys, does anybody know? Because she said, my mom signed me up for Girl Scouts
I
and
saw that.
we moved around a lot. And I was like, what was it? Maybe 4 times? That's not, I mean, for, you think like a military kid or just, families now. That's not like moving around like 20 times.
I wasn't like, well, my father was in the military, but not by the time I was born, he was out. We moved I had like 10 houses before I was even 18 years old. We moved
Yeah,
like 10.
I mean,
And I'm
I feel bad
perfectly
for my oldest. He's had, my husband was military and we've lived in several different houses and areas. But I mean, he adjusts fine.
Say no to clowns just said if some kid's mom likes true crime, some kid will tell her in kindergarten. Honestly, it is most likely going to be that she finds out who her mother is from another kid in school. Think about the bullying she's going to endure, or not even the bullying, but the isolation or you know what I mean? Like, my child is not allowed to hang out with Gypsy Rose's child, period, point blank. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you think that's mean, rude, judgmental. I don't care. Those are my kids. Absolutely not.
Hell, I said that to my son about a neighbor kid that was a little mean kid. I straight up, he came over and I said, sorry, nope. So if it was Gypsy Rose's daughter, no way.
Not even that. You're right, Annie. Parents talk. You know what I mean? Like, my kid is not eating a cupcake that you brought in for the class for birthday. My kid is not going on the field trip if you're chaperoning. My kid, I'm sorry. My kid isn't playing soccer if your kid is on the team.
And you know what's sad is that little girl, it has no fault in this.
No.
She's going to be treated so poorly by society.
Right. And again, just because she holds the weight of her mother's sins. And again, it's not to be mean, but we have to protect our own. You know what I mean? Like, my first reaction is to protect my own. Then we can deal with judgmental or whatever. But, I wouldn't risk it. You don't know. And again, in order to be a murderer, you have to have some kind of psychological issue. Normal people, normal, stable people, look at this cat. Normal, stable people don't go out and take the life of other people. So there's got to be some kind of psychological sickness there, and does the child have it? Is it passed down? Is it,
That's what I
mean?
wondered. That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering, because, my and this is just a theory, and I'm not saying it's true or not, but she was overly, with her chromosome disease, it's overly sexual, and her mother may have been so on her so much and supervised her so much, because, and I hate saying this, she might have been over sexual with other children. And I'm not saying she was. I'm just saying that does happen. Children do bad things with other kids, and that, and so if this child has the chromosome deletion disorder, just like her mother, because it's hereditary, that's a very big possibility, unfortunately, because it does state that as a thing with that chromosome deletion.
And you also have to think about, when she started getting a little bit older, that neighbor that she had, that she started talking and being and showing interest in men and sex and all of that. You got to remember the racy pictures she was posting online to Christy and the family and accidentally dropping them here and there. Like, you know what I mean? So absolutely, there's definitely a possibility that, when it comes to other kids, and she was, and who just said that? Roberto, she was mean to other children.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. My heart really does go out to the little girl, though, because
her Gypsy's a narcissist, and you know how mothers who are narcissists treat their daughters are not very kind. So even if she doesn't have these, she may be treated as competition with Gypsy, vying, for Ken's attention. And so that's worrisome, and that grows into adulthood competition with my, I look better, I'm smaller, I'm skinnier, you're not, up to my standards, etc.
Jealousy of children is actually a little bit more common with mothers than you think it is, especially with their daughters. There are a lot of mothers that are out there and they're jealous of their children. They look better than me. I didn't look like this. Their personality is better. They had things I never had. So the jealousy of her own daughter is definitely a possibility. And then you have to think, fathers and daughters have special relationships. It's different than a mother and a son or a mother and a daughter. There's always that different connection with a dad, daddy's little girl. And I'm sure he's going to be smitten with his baby. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's absolutely in love with her. But then you got to think Gypsy needs to be the center of attention 100% of the time. Yeah. So when he shows that he's loving that baby and that baby becomes his first and foremost priority, how is she going to react? Because she's not used to not being the priority or the center of everyone's attention.
She always has been since a child.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiled rotten. I mean, look at that house after, during the crime, everything in there, the mess was Gypsy's.
Think about it, that she had the free toys. I mean, I'm sure that all of the other kids, because you got to remember, they lived in that little habitat community, all the other kids, I'm sure, were jealous of her and envious of her because she got the doll houses, she got the trips, she got the celebrity meetups, she got all of the things that even those other kids didn't get. And so I'm sure that she's so used to people idolizing her, being jealous of her, being the, what I mean? People watching her and wanting to be her, or she's used to that attention. Most definitely.
I'm also, I don't know, Ivory, what you think. I am very concerned about postpartum depression with Gypsy. Very concerned. I had it, but I'm not great. I'm not like her, you know. Um, and it was hard for me. I had to get on medication after my last two children. I
Oh,
wasn't, you know, I was just very depressed. That was, you know.
yeah, postpartum depression is, well, number one, it can happen to anybody. You don't have to have a history of depression or anxiety or any kind of psychological or mental health issue. It can happen to anybody. But now you take her, who I, in my own opinion, I believe she definitely has a psychological disorder going on there. I definitely believe that. Now you take the hormones and you take her entire situation, the stressful situation she has with the publicity and the divorce and, you know, the family and the parole and all of this. And then you play that all in together into one big bowl, you have a hot mess happening. So I do believe that she is a very good candidate for postpartum depression and a disconnect to her child. And
I'm
again,
hoping. Oh,
that disconnect comes with the depression. A lot of people
mhm.
who suffer from postpartum depression feel like they can't connect with their child. That is even more scary because then there's really no emotion holding her back from neglecting or harming, you know,
Yeah.
just
Um,
making.
I got injured with my second baby. He was 11 pounds and he separated my pelvis, and I couldn't walk for 6 weeks, and I couldn't get up and like grab him. I had to have him handed to me. I couldn't get up and get him a bottle. My husband had to make it. I couldn't lift him because I couldn't lift anything, and I couldn't go to his first baby appointment. So, you know, I was extremely depressed. I didn't feel that connection until he was about 9 months old, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a hard feeling. That really is a hard feeling. But now take the fact that you're mentally unstable as far as like, you know, her jealousy issues and all of that. You know, sometimes that emotional connect is a safety. You know what I mean? Like we're connected to that baby to keep it safe and to survive. But when you don't feel like you have that connection, it blurs the lines there. You know what I mean?
I don't think she
No way.
realizes she is the most hated woman all over the world right about now. And she caused this. It's her own chaos.
She absolutely caused it. She was sitting, someone asked me before, what was she doing in prison for 8.5 years? I honestly believe that she was sitting in prison speaking with Christy and Rod and concocting this whole story. I really do. I believe that she was, you know, we already know she was having interviews and the movies were being put out and all of that. She wanted to be famous. They thought it was a profitable story. And so the entire 8 years she was in prison, that's what they were working on. They were working on this story to make her famous. She goes, she gets out of prison. She was famous for a few minutes, but then people saw her for who she was and they caught on to her lies. Her spewing lies all of the time and being caught out there saying one thing in one interview and then saying another thing in another interview. All of that changed the opinion of the public. And so the public opinion was she's lying. Now she's not this sweet, innocent victim anymore. And she was not prepared for that. That is what her, Christy, and Rob were not prepared for, was the
But what
turn of
I
opinion.
what I don't understand is she sees all of this happening. I mean, she can't be blind to it. Creators coming after her, people wanting to protest her book signing. What does she think this is gonna how this is gonna end?
I don't know. But she has to be coming to the realization that her fame is ending. Her fame is ending. You know what I mean? You're not going to change people's minds back. And so I said this when you guys first started hearing me talk about her. I will witness the downfall of Gypsy Rose, and I personally believe that I am witnessing it at the very moment. It is all starting to crumble for her. I really believe that.
Yeah, and it's showing with her on her backup account trying to fight with the comments to make herself look better, but there's no way that you can. I mean, everybody can debunk that, oh, well, my mom made me sit in a wheelchair. Well, no, let's pull up the correct information in the video footage and the court documents and show,
We're debunking
Exactly.
lies with her own words. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Exactly. Everybody's got a clap back for her. She should be thinking about her child. And obviously, that's how it shows that she's not going to be a good mom. She's not worried about hiding her child from all of this or protecting her child. She just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. We all know what happens to, I feel like every time there's a reality show, these people end up divorced, their family's all in like disarray. It's just a hot mess. So we already know
Bankruptcy.
just from the history of reality TV people that this isn't going to end well. But now you take this kid and you're putting your life on a show for us all to watch, and it's not doing her any justice. Like, she just needs to back away from the public. She needs to go away, go live your life.
Yeah, and I think, the most selfish thing she could have done, it's not the cheating on Ryan, it's 4 months after getting out of prison and getting pregnant and knowing her chromosome deletion disorder. Aw. And I feel like she has no life skills. She needed to get out, get some life skills under her, and stay out of the public eye, work on herself, and then have a baby if she wanted to. I don't think there wouldn't be no hate. But she is selfish, and I feel like she thinks it's going to be like a movie, oh, I had a baby and everything's great, and we have the white picket fence and the dog, and we all know that relationships are strained when children become in the picture, babies especially.
Yes. That is the most strained part of a relationship. If you can get through, if your relationship can survive a newborn baby, you're good to go. Because that's probably the hardest thing that you're going to have to endure, other than cheating in a relationship, is that newborn baby. Me and my husband fought a lot when I had a baby. You know what I mean? And not because we didn't like each other. It was pure exhaustion. And you know what I mean? Ultimately, it was just exhaustion and, just life. And so we argued and went tit for tat just because we were so tired and stressed. And I remember that it was really hard. And I don't know why she would think that in the middle of a divorce and now you're getting remarried, like the ink ain't even dry on your divorce papers and already you're getting remarried. You know what I mean? You're hopping from one marriage to the next. You're bringing a baby in, the baby that was conceived during the cheating between the two marriages. And then you have everything that's, everybody, the public is now coming at her for lying and they're not accepting it. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on there. I'm just
She should
saying.
have done what Casey Anthony did and just disappear.
Disappear. Go away, live your life out of the public eye. And nobody even thought about her for the longest time. Casey Anthony.
That's
No,
right.
and she didn't
And
even have another child either. She didn't even attempt to have another child.
No, oh my God. Could you imagine what public opinion would be if Casey Anthony had another baby? Even now, how many years has it been? If I found out that chick was pregnant, I would be outraged. I'd be like, you gotta be
it
kidding me.
it's been 18. The little girl would have been, they said on the news a week or two ago. It was her 18th birthday.
Wow. Can you guys, that's crazy. 18. She would have been 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody, I live here in Florida, and at the time I lived a block over from her parents. And every year, people still go out to the site, and it's every year, every year. It's so sad.
Oh,
But
that
at
was
least she didn't go out and have children and cause chaos.
and a
After
reality show, and
actually reality shows and documentaries and book signings
did
and
she even
you
read?
know
Did she even write a book?
She
I don't
made,
think
yes, I think she did.
that
And she had a little bit of a documentary a couple years ago.
Right,
But other than that, it was
nothing.
mostly showing her parents' point of view, I believe. And
yeah, it was actually more documentaries with the parents than with
Yeah,
her. She
right.
came out many years later, and did her own. But this is after years of being in Tampa and doing her own thing, actually working with the lawyer that defended her.
What is up with these freaking lawyers, guys? Why are
you
what
know,
with
He
these
actually won his
lawyers
office.
inserting themselves into these families of these murdering murderers? Like, what is that? Because is it because lawyers know there's money to be made there? Let me go play that game.
yeah,
Like, what is up with that? Because I do know that Casey Anthony went and lived with the lawyer and worked for the lawyer and did all of that with that lawyer for years.
I think
And
she did
actually
more
got
with the
an
lawyer.
Yes, well,
actually she got an education, an accounting degree. She
yeah,
she actually did something, but she did it in silence.
yeah.
Her and Gypsy Rose are the most hated women, in my opinion. Um, it's a tragedy that she was not charged either, and that is another flaw in the judicial system. Um, even though it was a jury of her peers. Um, right? Didn't she have a jury?
She did. She
Yes.
had a jury trial, and the jury found her not guilty. And I'm going to be honest with you, though. I saw that coming. I don't believe the evidence presented, um, you
There
know what I mean?
wasn't
It
enough.
wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So they
There
were,
wasn't.
that's why I respect that jury, though, is because they were being honest because I could see it.
Well, at least she went to trial, unlike Gypsy.
Even though
But
they all knew she did it. You know, it was
even
actually,
in that, even in Casey's story, there's a lot that doesn't equate for me. Her dad, there's a lot of things that just don't sit right. Her dad trying to take his life, and there's just too much going on there.
I feel like with that case, I feel like mom knew. And it
Yes.
was thrown on dad, and dad didn't know how to handle it when he found out. I feel like mom knew, mom eventually got it out of her, found out, went from initially thinking something happened to now I have to cover my daughter, and dad not wanting to cover the daughter, she's responsible for this, and the wife being like, that's your child, you have to defend her. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it was too much for him. I think because he knew and he wasn't happy with the wife defending her.
Yeah, but she was always working. She was a nurse at the time, and
Mhm.
12-hour days, 16-hour days. He was retired, and he was always in that.
Who was
So
that young girl that her boyfriend murdered her and she was found in the Grand
Gabby
she was found in
Petito,
Wyoming? Yeah, it's
Gabby
kind of like
Petito.
his parents covering for him.
Yeah.
That's how
That
I
was,
feel the whole Casey Anthony thing is because they knew damn well he killed her. He drove home without her when
yeah.
she lived there.
And
Yeah.
they found the notebook. They found the backpack. It's just that was another one that was weird too.
Yeah. Annie just said they took lie detectors. They did. Did you guys watch that when they took the lie detectors? Did you
Yep.
see
Was
their
that
reactions? I don't
um
I don't feel like those lie detector tests were their reactions were throwing the test off, in my opinion.
yeah, and I think that's why they're not admissible in court.
Yeah,
Um
clean. They weren't clean tests.
Can you imagine if Dr. Phil had Gypsy on with a lie detector? You know she wouldn't take it, but do you think maybe Christy or Rod would take it?
I wonder. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I don't know. But Christy, Rod, your story's the truth. Show us. I'm just saying. Show us how the story's the truth. Take a lie detector test. In fact, I'll pay for it.
What
I
I
would-
want to, yeah, what I want to know is people are going, well, Christy said this and it's the truth. Christy has lied. I'm sorry forever for Gypsy and covered.
Gypsy is not pregnant. 2 days later, Gypsy puts out a video that we should believe you. You know what I mean? She says whatever she wants the public to believe. Nothing true comes out of Christy's mouth either, because I really feel like Christy was the one who really brought this whole Munchausen by proxy thing to light. You have to remember there were cases around that time and prior to it. You have to remember, didn't she have a medical background? Wasn't she working at the hospitals with Dee Dee? Wasn't she some kind of something?
Yeah, they were, I believe, coworkers and friends. And, she moved in on Dee Dee's husband. And look at Gypsy having an affair and her dad having an affair. Like, they're not. That's another thing that little girl's going to learn is her grandma now was the other woman.
Yeah.
And grandpa has another child by another woman.
Not even that, but you have to think, look at their history. Like you said, Rod cheated, got another woman pregnant, Gypsy cheats. You know what I mean? Rod abandoned his children, and Gypsy couldn't even keep a dog. So when the going gets tough, is she going to leave that baby with Ken?
I think if she,
your child, because it just doesn't fit in with your lifestyle that you want to live at that moment in time, like you did Pixie.
I think if she meets some other man, and this is my feelings and just an idea and thought, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if she ever meets another man and he's quote unquote better than Ken, she's going to leave that baby with Ken and go off with the new relationship. And then she'll do the same thing with that man because she did that to Nick. She did it to Ryan. History does repeat itself.
That
Leaving
reminds
the child behind is the best thing she could do, is leave the child behind.
I agree. But again, though, you know what I mean? Like if you go and just the way she's repeating her father's actions, we're waiting for her to abandon the child at this point. You know what I mean? Again, everything she learned from daddy. Good old daddy.
Yeah. And wait until she's off parole. She's going to be able to go out. She's going to be able to go out to the bar, and do whatever, whenever.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, you've heard her comment on Ken's looks. You've heard her make snarky remarks on the Vile Files or whatever the hell that podcast was about how he's gaining the baby weight. You've heard her, make comments multiple times about how he's not, he's aging, he's getting heavier, he's gaining the weight. Is he now up to Gypsy standards, or is she going to move on to somebody else? Because for someone like her, who had so many issues with the way she looked, that she had to come out of prison and hop and get a nose job, she had to dye her hair blonde, she had to change her entire look, to comment on somebody else's looks naturally is some crap. For you to have a negative comment about somebody else's looks, that's crazy to me. And
Yeah.
she was being really degrading to him. And is she just losing interest in him now?
Another telling thing too was Ryan's last live with the messages. He goes, I know I'm not the skinniest or the best looking guy. Well, who told you that? I mean, we all know, but like, she probably has said that to him. Like,
Yeah.
Ken's better looking, he's slimmer, he's more fit, he's a Chad, you know, and that is a blow.
He's a Herman. He's a Herman. He's not a Chad. He's a Herman. No
Oh
Chad.
yeah, he's the most mediocre looking dude out there. I'm sorry,
Mediocre
but
Chad. Yes.
he is not all that. Not
No.
by a mile.
No. No. But again, for her, he was. And I don't know. Now I'm wondering if she's not losing interest, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what's going to happen with this whole thing, but I definitely, whatever happens, it's not going to end well for any of them.
No.
For any of them. And you know, you mentioned something before about how, you know, abandoning the child, and what if she meets somebody else, which goes back to, was it Susan Smith?
Yes.
The one with the babies that buckled the babies in the car seats and drove the car into the lake?
Yes.
Yeah.
The two baby boys. She did that because she met a man who didn't want kids. And so,
Diane Downs.
yeah. And so for her, it was like, let me just, you know, easy fix. Let me just get rid of the kids instead of getting a different man. She decided to just get rid of the kids. And could Gypsy do that? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. It's not like it hasn't happened before. It's not like it's so far-fetched that we're thinking crazy thoughts here. She's a convicted murderer, guys. So, you know what
And
I mean?
a liar. And a liar.
Absolutely.
A con artist.
Yeah. For real. That goes back to, were you on the live? Marcy, I think you were in there too with Becca Scoops. Talking about how, and I don't want to say this too much because I don't want to make it sound like, so Becca stated that she possibly has some information on Gypsy. I'm going to assume having some kind of fetish with knives and rape. Okay. And again, she's dropping her new video, guys. She said maybe before Christmas. So let me just put it out there. If you're not following Becca Scoops on here, please run over to Becca Scoops channel and make sure you guys are giving her a follow and go watch her videos. But she did say that she had found something that had something to do with Gypsy having like a knife fetish and a rape fetish, and I don't know, something to do with Christy. We're not sure what that is yet or how that comes into play. But if she did in fact commit this murder, the murder of her mother, because she had a fantasy about murdering somebody with a knife and rape being involved. And that is why she murdered Dee Dee, and not because she was being abused or because, she wanted to be with men or, whatever anybody thinks the motive is. If the motive was in fact to play out her fantasy, then that's extremely concerning, because fantasies, obviously, for her to play that out, she had a taste of murder with the knife. She had a taste of, you know what I mean? All of that. She's going to want that again. That's not something that I feel like she's going to be able to put off for too long. You know what I mean? It's like a serial killer. Once you get the taste to kill, you have to go back and do it again. And then it escalates and it gets worse, because eventually the basic killing isn't doing it so much for you. It has to escalate. And I feel like, is that Gypsy's story? Because if that's Gypsy's story, then her motive and why she killed her mother completely changes how I see her being safe in society.
Yeah.
Then she is absolutely dangerous, extremely dangerous.
And if you guys go on Jackie's page, she did post the artwork that she made the anime artwork that is kind of telling about the fantasies of
That is
a woman
alleged
getting,
gypsies.
yeah,
Yes.
a woman
Yeah, I
getting
think
raped by a gang of people and this, that, and the other. It's creepy, to be honest with you, to put that out there.
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that, and that's a little creepy. And Becca Scoops is on point. She's spot on, and something's
Absolutely.
brewing there. I can't wait.
There's no, I mean, I'm excited that she's putting out another video, but I'm like, when she was like, oh, before Christmas, and then I look down and I'm like, are you for real? It's like the first week of December here, man.
I think it's gonna be Christmas Day. That's gonna be our gift.
That would be our Christmas present, right? I'm
We're
so
gonna drop
excited. I
something.
can't wait. It's
Yep,
like, that's like a
got it.
TV show addiction I have, Becca Scoops. I'm stalking her page all the time, her channel all the time to see, did I miss it?
Mhm.
Miss something
Radiant
new?
Brit too. Have you seen Radiant Brit?
I haven't. I know
You
who she
should.
is.
She's
I
just
think I know
like
who she
Becca.
is. She's a little brunette
Yeah.
with a little bob. Yeah, yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, she calls her a gremlin.
Yeah, that's so funny.
She's good too. She's been
That's so
spot on
funny.
too.
Yeah, I think I have seen her before. That's
Yeah,
so
but
funny.
Becca's got everybody on the edge of their seat with this.
Nobody more than me. Because if Becca comes out and this video, and again, she said she was still working on piecing it together and making sure that what she puts out there is fact. And so she didn't want to put this out because she didn't have it 100% verified. She said 95%.
Yeah.
And
Um,
she said too, it's, everything she does is alleged. For
right,
anybody in here and like we're talking, it's alleged because I
right.
did
It's
see a
alleged.
comment.
Yeah,
So
everything is alleged. This is all theory, speculation, discussion. But if she
Steve
does put
says
out
it's
this
alleged.
video, that means to me that she verified it to an extremely full, you know what I mean? And then my whole theory on the motive will change, and it blows my mind to think that this whole time one of my biggest issues with this case was none of the motives that I was coming up with were making sense. And the fact that she could potentially be solidifying a motive for me soon, I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and she won't put it out there unless she's, how
Absolutely
she is.
validates all the
Will know.
information. Yeah, absolutely.
She's
But
opened a lot of eyes.
she has so many. And she honestly, I knew all of the information, but when I started watching Becca, it was almost like my brain, I had all of the pieces to the puzzle, and I had, you know what I mean? I had pieces going and they were fitting, but I just couldn't lay it out correctly. And she literally put out the corners for me and helped me build it all the way up. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I had the information, but I wasn't seeing it clearly laid out. So it's almost like she just drew the picture for me. And so I was like, wow, I was so
She's got
impressed.
enough. She's got enough for them to even reopen the case if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I wish somebody would pick her up. She needs a show. She needs a television. Her and her husband need a series. I'm just saying. Because
yeah, on the ID channel or something.
I would love it if they would pick up some other cases, man. I'd be glued. Are
A
you kidding me?
podcast, even a
A
podcast.
podcast, something, anything. Like, I want more. Work faster, Becca. Work faster. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would love to see her do this with other cases too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just the way
KFC,
she's out there.
KFC put in the chat that they can help you put a scroll that this is all alleged for entertainment purposes on the bottom of your lives, so you
Oh,
don't have to say it.
yes, please. How?
I sent them an email.
Okay.
I sent them your email address to email you.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
like a
Thank you.
title.
Yeah, I
Like a
can.
title for it.
Oh, I definitely need that. Listen, guys. Just for me to be able to get on here and get you two up here, I'm doing amazing over here. This is as
Come
far
a
as
long way.
this is the best I can do. I am no, computer whiz, or StreamYard hates my guts. It really
You've
hates
come a
me.
long way already. You've come
I
a really
know.
long way.
I know. You know how much Googling I did?
Oh my God, since the beginning, I know I've sent you videos.
That's why I kept that first live I ever did up. Do you guys remember that? I couldn't. I was cracking up laughing. I'm like, I'm stuck in here. It was so funny. It was so funny. But I've come a long way. I'm so proud of myself. And hopefully,
What do you think about the book signing? You think she's gonna cancel this book signing?
no, no, because she needs to make money. Her ultimate goal is to make money. And that book signing is putting the book out there. You know what I
Well, they're
mean?
gonna
And
have to send her
and
down
it's
a
after
ticket or
divorce.
something.
Oh,
I
sorry.
know, right? Canceled. You're right. Right after
It's after the
divorce,
divorce finalization.
3 or
She's
4
going to
days.
want all that money to herself.
they're gonna
Do you
have to
think
bring her in and put her down the chimney because that place is gonna be surrounded.
so? Do we know who? I know a couple of people who are going. Are you going, Mercy? Well, you live all the way in
I
Florida.
wish I could.
I
I
said
wish
this.
I could. Morbid and Becca just put a thing out. They're asking for people to go, and he'll live stream it.
Yeah, I know that Pink Pony is going.
Oh,
I
nice.
know that we're going to be live streaming her, because she's going to be there, and we'll be live streaming it with her and putting it out there. I was going to go. I can't be back soon enough. I have a prior engagement, and so unfortunately I'd never make it back driving by Saturday morning, and it's 12 hours away from me. So, and I don't
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, it's pretty far for me too. And the holidays are coming, so I'll be going up to Georgia soon. But yeah, I would go. I would love to go.
Is there anybody in the chat going, or who's might be able to go?
It's in New Orleans, you guys.
It's in NOLA. Is it that? That's where it is, NOLA.
Yeah,
Barnes and Noble took all the reviews down.
I saw that. Did you guys read the reviews? If
I think he
anybody is
had like
planning on going to
five
the book
stars.
signing, put one in the chat for me. I'm just trying to get a feel of who will be able to go.
It's also a candlelight visual for Dee Dee.
Oh, you're
It's
going, Miss Pam.
oh cool.
That's what
Nice.
Morbid. That's what Morbid really wants. He doesn't want a protest to say. He wants a vigil.
I agree with that. I think
Because
that
he's
is.
making money off of the person that he murdered. So it's a vigil for Dee Dee.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think that would be. I think that's the right way to go about it. I think that is, remembering Dee Dee. Somebody needs to. You know what I mean? And again, it's not an angry thing. It's just, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's not a protest or a violent. It's not a violent protest. He wants it done in a vigil type of way because she
Yeah,
does need to be remembered. She wouldn't be sitting in that bookstore if she didn't kill her mom.
exactly. There would be no profit. There would be no money. There would be no payday. There would be none of it if it weren't for you killing Dee Dee. Yeah. Yeah.
That was her big ticket, was killing her mother, unfortunately, which is sick. And it was Rod and Christie's big ticket too.
Absolutely. And again, this story that they all sat there for years concocting, I think it makes me so mad. It makes me so angry. It really does.
Well, you look at the Mommy Dead and Dearest premiere with Christy, Rod, and Mia, and they're just so happy to be there. And it's like, this is a show about your daughter killing her mother.
Yeah. They were just so proud. That was that picture of them standing there with that Mommy Dead and Dearest poster. It killed me. That is just so disgusting. Rogie said on Bree's live last night that she would be protected, and they, meaning Bree's people and him, would protect her. Protect her from what? Like, it sounds like they're trying to incite some violence because it's really just
No.
for Dee Dee. I'm just saying.
And you can't impede on somebody's First Amendment right for peaceful protest. If if anybody tries to impede on that, they're the ones that will end up getting arrested.
Listen, I'm not even. This ain't even about Gypsy. Gypsy can't even handle the fact that this is about Dee Dee, not you, Gypsy. This isn't about you. This is about how Dee Dee had to die in order for you to be able to write that book. But it's really about Dee Dee. It's not about you, Gypsy. Stop making everything about you. Just saying there's that.
Has anyone heard anything from Dee Dee's side of the family? Has the dad, anybody said anything? Or
No, I can reach out to,
Sure.
Maybe I'll reach out to Dee Dee's sister.
I'm sure they gotta be devastated by all this.
Yeah. I know that they were saying there was some words being said about they were waiting for Claude to pass before the family decided on what they were going to do or if they were going to do anything, just because they wanted to let him live out the rest of his life and not be bothered with the nonsense, which makes sense to me. Bree's going to stand at the door, granting access, asking if you're a good witch or a bad witch.
So this is what I kind of want to say. If they say, for example, I'm not saying they are, it might be all talk. If they do that, that could get Gypsy in a whole shitload of trouble with
Yeah.
parole. So
Yeah,
They're
because
the ones inciting the violence. No one's going there to go at the Gypsy. Nobody cares enough to go there and
he's
go
not
at the
supposed to
Gypsy.
be. He's not supposed to be around them anyway. Didn't Bree's husband just go to jail?
I don't know. Listen,
I mean,
who knows what that
I
whole
don't
story
understand.
is. My whole thing is like, why are you trying to make this a threatening thing? You know what I mean? Like, people are going out there and trying to pay their respects to Gypsy's mother. She should be honored that somebody finally pays respects to the woman. Since she
yeah,
murdered.
she's dead. She got murdered, and
She got
you know,
stabbed 17 times in her back and was practically decapitated, just in case Gypsy forgot.
yeah, and you want to go that hard for a person that murdered their mother and got second degree murder and just got out of prison. I wouldn't even go that hard for somebody who didn't.
Yeah. Rogie said he was in Morbid Live to find out the plans for the protest so he can let Bree and them know. Tell them to bring a candle so they can pay their respect to the woman that their friend killed. Because again, no murder is ever justified, in my opinion. So there.
And shame on the bookstore too.
Well, that I don't agree with. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stick up for the bookstore, and I'm going to... Not a lot of people know what we know. That's the unfortunate part of this whole thing. These bookstores, we know all of this sitting here on TikTok, on YouTube, on social media, because we've all gone through the case. We've all seen the proof. We all have, done our due diligence in researching and believing what we feel like we've come up with. We know that as this group right here because we've been doing it for a while. But without public awareness, everybody out there, they don't know what we know.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is. We can't blame them for it. It's, you know what I mean? It's not Barnes and Noble's fault that they're thinking that she's the same victim that she's telling everybody she is. Now it's our responsibility to make sure that us in here, we go tell them out there and bring awareness to them so they know what the actual story is.
For example, yesterday I pulled up the Dr. Phil episode of the Gypsy Rose one, and my grandmother, she don't know anything about this case, and she's, oh my gosh, believing it hook, line, and sinker. She don't know. And that's most
Yeah.
the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is the bookstore is in the same state, and that whole state knows who Gypsy Rose Blanchard is.
Yeah. But what do they know about her? That she was a
They
victim
know,
of housing by proxy, and her mother made her have unnecessary surgeries and abused her, and that's what people know about her, or they think they know about her. Unfortunately,
yeah.
we just got to
Yeah,
change that.
they know that she went on interviews this past year and talked about being in prison and being a quote unquote victim. For instance, not everybody goes on TikTok.
Mhm.
In
Yeah,
my age group, in my late to mid 30s, early 40s, it's more like Facebook. And if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. You're just looking at what, ABC, Dateline, and stuff like that is posting.
yeah, yeah. And again, too bad we couldn't make some kind of pamphlet called Alleged. We're going to name this pamphlet Alleged, and we're going to put out the facts that we see about Gypsy Rose and pass that out and let the public look at that. Where is the proof that she was a victim of medical abuse? Where was the proof that she was abused physically by her mother? Where was the proof? You know what I mean? Like, that would be nice. Let's go make some material where we can educate people, or just give them questions to ask and go find the answers to. This way we're not being sued for putting out. You know what I mean? Just put questions.
Or
And let
the
them-
other side. Here's the other side. Here's our alleged ideas and thoughts. And here is the medical records. You may read through them. Here is some of the information about, her having an affair with Dan prior and meeting up with him, and where she met Nick, that story of how long, and the text messages all being in that pamphlet. You can read through, and then if you don't want to, that's okay. But here you go. And now you can make your own opinion and look us up and post. Okay, go on YouTube and check Becca Scoops. Put her YouTube channel, put your TikTok and YouTube. That would be a great thing.
Too bad we couldn't get little cards together that, and I was talking to Pink about this earlier for her own personal stuff, but too bad we couldn't get cards together or little pamphlets together with a QR code to scan that would bring them
Yeah.
right to the Scoops videos. Here are the questions I want you to think about when you're watching these videos. Please watch 1 through 8 at your
I
time.
like that idea.
To know the
That's
story. Now, I don't know if you can link a QR code to a
You
video,
can do a business card.
but can you link a QR code to like Becca
Yes.
Scoops?
Yeah.
Won't we do that?
That's a great idea for
And then,
having it on a business card.
yeah,
Call it allegedly.
and yeah. Answer me this. Allegedly, yeah. I wonder.
Go place it in the bathroom at the
Put him
bookstore.
everywhere. Pass them
Yeah.
out. Everybody who comes into the bookstore, leave them there. The bookstore's not going to be like, no, you can't be here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. That's a good
You should
idea.
suggest that to Becca, Ivory.
We should ask Becca if we can do that. Yeah. Even if anybody, yeah. Look at me. I'm thinking out.
Canceled. If canceled, if you can come up with a QR code and Ivory gets Becca's
Is
okay.
Pink in here? Pink, you're in here. Pink Pony's in here.
Yeah, she's here.
Pink can do that. She's going. She can maybe, I know she has business cards.
Yeah.
She can maybe print up, I'll pay for them, maybe print up some extra cards. And Pam just said, call it bears that. That's the truth. We'll call it no. But yeah, we can make little cards that with a QR code that will take them right to Becca Scoop's video. And yeah, maybe we can design some kind of, You know what I mean? Like, think about this. Is she really a victim? Is she really, you're asking questions. You're not making any accusations. You know what I mean? And give them a few questions to think about as they're watching the videos. And then welcome them here on a panel, on Morbid's panel or somebody's panel. And, you know, please look into this and let us know what you think. We invite you to come speak on our panel.
That's a great idea. I know Morbid. I know Becca would go for it.
Yeah, I know that. I think they both would.
Oh,
You know what I
Morbid
mean?
would. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That'd
that.
be great if Pink's going and she doesn't mind doing it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
yeah, like
And
I
for those
can.
of us that can't be there, we will be there.
Yeah, Pink, we can print them out and you can take them with you. Yeah, let me talk. I'll send Becca an email, or if anybody wants to email Becca, and let's make sure with Becca it's okay that she wants it linked to her YouTube. But yeah, if we get her permission, and we'll maybe send an email to Sir Morbid and see what he says too.
And you can get those printed so cheap with the coupon code through CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and they can do it quick.
Yeah, we can get it done in the same day. Like I'll go.
Yeah.
Me and Pink, I'm sure Pink will be able to set some time away. We can go do them really quick, and then again she can take them with her, so it's not like we have to wait for anything to be delivered.
Yeah, and they could be passed out right there, and then Becca's getting ready to drop this next one, so it'll bring awareness, and people will watch.
And if you have these, maybe like just a little sheet, like a little card, not necessarily even a little business card, but like a little, 3x3, kind of card, where it asks a couple of questions. Is she innocent? Is she, some kind of questions that would get them thinking, and then the QR code. This way, if you're just asking questions, there's no accusations. You can't get in trouble for that. There's no, you know what I mean? You're just asking people questions. And so there's nothing that we're doing defamation or slander or any of that. So there's no. Yeah, that's a really good.
Can you send Pink the link? She wants to come up really fast and talk.
Oh, yeah. I would have done that before, Pink. I thought you were in bed. Did she come up? Did you get it? You got it, Pink? I think that's a really good idea, though. Guys, I think we just came up with a really good idea. This way we can get the information out to those people out there without doing anything, though, that is harmful or illegal, or you could be sued for civilly. I'm just saying.
Oh, and let them make their own decision.
And let them make their own decisions. Informed decisions.
Hello.
Hello, Pink. How are you?
I had to come out of bed for this.
I'm sorry. That's why I didn't send you a link. I knew you were.
No, don't be sorry. I'm glad that that I hopped in and had a chance, because I spoke to Morbid and I just wanted to update you guys. So he spoke with the New Orleans Police Department, and he's going to get some more information tomorrow regarding like possibly having a permit for this, because it could be huge. As far as like the ACLU website for Louisiana goes, as long as nobody's impeding traffic, whether it's on the sidewalk or, out in the road, like you can't block cars and you can't block pedestrians. Like we couldn't like make a chain and stop people from going in through the gate. You know what I mean? But like, as long as everybody, is doing the right thing and staying on the sidewalk, then it should be a non-issue. But I think he's going to try and secure some sort of a permit, which is probably a good thing, if you think about it, because if the police feel like this is going to potentially get out of hand, then they are going to be there to make sure that it doesn't, so nobody gets hurt.
Right. I completely agree with that. I think that's a great idea. And I think the bookstore will even like it, because again, you're bringing more traffic in front of their store, more potential business. Like I think they'll be. Yeah, I just saw somebody say, "Please, yeah, we're going to keep this peaceful, though, guys."
Well, yeah, because there are probably going to be kids in the store.
Yeah.
You got to think of that elderly. So, it would be good to have a permit though, because of the things that have been said about disrupting it. Then the
Yeah,
police can
well,
make sure that you are able to do your First Amendment right by peacefully gathering.
right, exactly. Yeah, I think it's probably for the best that, it's like a publicized thing and people are aware so that the police can choose to like, there needs to be some level of security. You know what I mean? Like there just needs to be, all things considered. Like let's be realistic and consider who we're talking about here and why everybody's pissed off and the level of like people being pissed off at each other within this community, whether it's opposite sides, for her or against her, or whether it's even on the same side. Like there's no telling. You know what I mean? So I think it's good that he's like following through with that, and making sure that it's done appropriately.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to reiterate, guys, this is a peaceful vigil, a peaceful thing. Again, we can't be violent people and go out there and cause harm and think that there's going to be physical violence when we're sitting there trying to stop somebody who murdered somebody. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Yeah.
Our intentions are good. Our intentions are to respect Dee Dee, to bring awareness to the situation, and it is not to incite violence or any disruption or anything like that. It is really just to bring awareness. And so, again, peaceful congregation is, keep it that way, because then it looks good when we want to do it again. Should there be another movie or book signing and we want to go and congregate again, there's not going to be like, oh, look what happened at the last place. And it makes us look worse and it makes them look valid if something happens. So we got to make sure that on our part, we keep it as peaceful as possible.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah. But I think
So
this
who's
is
all going? Is there anyone in the chat that's planning to go?
if there's somebody in this chat that is able to go, hit a 1. Maybe.
Let's see who's coming.
0.5 if it's a maybe.
Oh my gosh, someone said to run off pictures of Dee Dee and have Gypsy autograph the pictures.
Oh, geez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no telling what's going to go down at this, which is really like my reason for wanting to go is to document it. Like, I really just want to show everybody what exactly is happening because I feel like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with all of this. And I would like to just be able to document it for everybody,
Yeah, definitely. And I told them, like, well, we'll post and we can all live stream it so everybody can see it. Vanessa Dodge, Ivory Rose, that's all that this has ever been about, is to show and pay our respects to Dee Dee. Show Dee Dee the respect that her own daughter didn't even show her. Amen to that, Vanessa.
Humanize her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Villainize her because she's a villain with no proof of it.
I don't think that Dee Dee would want people to be protesting and rioting. I really think Dee Dee would want to just be remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Remembered as not this evil villain that Gypsy is portraying.
Exactly. Because she didn't train her to do this.
Yeah.
And what better time, to make a statement on behalf of Dee Dee than at a time and place that Gypsy has set aside to further defame her and invite the public to get her autograph while she's doing so. I mean, I feel like that's a huge statement. That's what social justice is about. You know what I mean? Like standing up in the face of something that's wrong and, speaking out against it. And it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be violent. It can literally be completely silent. It can be a silent group of people just standing and holding space for Dee Dee. Do I think it's going to be that? No, because I think people are going to act a fool. Yeah, but that should be the intention, and hopefully it's done in a respectful way. But either way, y'all are going to have front row seat. So welcome
And
to
if
the
you
show.
guys, yeah, and if you guys can't make it, you know, or even watch it because of work, I'm hoping that it will be saved, the live stream, and maybe people can take clips of that and make their own videos, whether you make videos or not, just to spread that around, and then maybe linking Becca Scoop's TikTok to the video as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, for sure.
And are we going to be streaming it? We're going to be streaming it on YouTube, right, Pink?
Yeah, I think YouTube is the way to go. I
To
just
be
don't want to risk. I don't want to risk getting reported and banned on anybody's TikTok platform, and the guidelines are so strict over there. I just think YouTube is the better bet.
I agree with that.
How about creating a Facebook page?
Now,
We can-
Facebook, I'm not into, but y'all do what you want to do on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't do
Y'all-
Facebook.
I mean, y'all can, if you have a way to like stream the live stream over there somehow, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that works, but go for it. I mean, share it out, put it wherever, record it, re-upload it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because Facebook is like a big platform like TikTok is.
And then you got to remember, if we're live streaming it, then can there really be violence? Because we're having it all watched and monitored, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Also, I'm
It
thinking we
is-
need to contact or someone should reach out to the local media in New Orleans, because I would imagine that the local news is going to want to cover this as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, is TMZ
You know?
going to be there too? You know?
I think Morbid was going to reach out to the local news stations.
I emailed
Oh, that's
TMZ
great.
a few emails today. I will let y'all know tomorrow if I get anything back, but I put out a couple of emails today.
That's so awesome. I think the more the merrier. The more media that we can have cover this, the more serious it's going to become for her. And, it should be serious, and it should have been serious all this time. And she has lied and manipulated the media for too long. And in turn, the media has manipulated the rest of the public. You know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but it wasn't until I came over to TikTok and started learning everything that Fancy unraveled. Like, that was my first eye opening. And then I started following Ivory. And so, from there, I just learn more and learn more. But like at one point I was like, just as dumb as the rest of the public. I was never like a Gypsy stan. I thought like, oh, good for her. Like, maybe she'll come out and be better from her fucked up life. But like, that's not even the case, and I think the rest of the world needs to know. And the more people we can have streaming this out, the more people we can have in the media that are covering it, newspaper news. If you guys want to reach out, send emails, call the local media there. If you guys have time in your day to do something like that would be, a really helpful way of trying to bring this all together appropriately.
Yeah.
And I do have a list of Dee Dee's favorite music artists. So I
Oh, I
feel like
love
maybe
that.
playing some of her favorite music during the visual, or a couple songs would be really, really nice to also humanize her, because she likes similar things everybody else liked,
I
with
love
music
that. I
and
love
movies.
that.
And
Yeah, I do too. That's really nice.
And
Yeah,
this is
that's awesome.
open a big door for Nick as well, because people are going to be interested, and they're going to want to know, and they're going to see how she manipulated an autistic man.
And can
Yeah.
and again, I don't come at me. This is just, you know how people were saying to dress like Dee Dee when you get there, like dress like Dee Dee? Don't do that, because I feel like that's mocking the dead when we're trying to, you know what I mean, show respect, and instead bring pictures. There's so many pictures online of her when she was younger, of her at different stages in her life, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Yeah, for sure.
up and mocking her is completely disrespectful. Where I get where you guys were coming from, and haha funny, when you really get to this level of it though, it's like, let's not disrespect her, but bring pictures, blow up some pictures. It's like $5 down if you go to a CVS or a Walgreens, download a picture of her, blow it up,
coupon codes.
You know what I mean? And everyone have a picture of her. This way you're standing there with a picture of her. You're not mocking. It doesn't make it look disgraceful. It's, you know what I mean? It's clean cut.
Yes.
It's respectful, and we'll keep it like that instead of doing the whole dressing up like her. I mean, not for this. I don't feel like it's
And
appropriate.
maybe
No,
just a
I
picture of
mean,
her or of her and Gypsy when Gypsy was a baby.
Right. Like doing one of those things
yeah.
she didn't do. Like when she was in the Girl Scouts or the beauty pageants, or, you know what I mean?
Or when she was standing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
pictures of her like standing up with Rod as a child. Like, be so for real. Your time to stand. Like, that you've been standing the whole time.
Someone make a poster, please. Someone has to make me a poster. I will send it with you, Pink. I will make the poster. I want a big poster that says, "Listen, sweet cheeks, you missed your time
Also,
to speak."
I can pick stuff up, like printed stuff, like once I get there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll figure out what's nearby, like as far as like CVS, Walgreens, something like that, and we'll coordinate something like that. That way, like if it's like a poster or something, whatever, like I'm happy to, you know, get materials for people or whatever. I also want to mention while I have you guys here listening, everybody in the chat too, that I'm really just going to live stream. This is not my thing. So before anybody thinks that like I'm operating this whole thing, I'm not. I just really would love to document it. What a crazy opportunity to show the truth to people. And so, yeah, I just want to put that little disclaimer out there before anybody runs off and says, pink ponies, la la la. No, pink ponies not. Sir Morbid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sir Morbid is, you know, organizing this. He's got a sign up sheet. I do have a link. I don't know. I can't join the chat unless I connect my YouTube right here and StreamYard. And I don't know if that's going to kick me out, but if I text it to one of y'all, can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
All right. I'm gonna text you the sign up sheet if you guys want to sign up. If anybody is going, this is a link for a Google document. You'll be added to the sign up sheet. And you don't have to put like your full legal name. You can put your username or a nickname that you want to use. It's basically to get a head count, and it's asking, you know, if you are bringing anyone and how many people, or, you know, if you're interested in bringing your own poster, or if you would like to provide any type of like water bottles or snacks or anything for anybody there, then you have the option to select those things too. So I will text that over to you, Canceled, if you want to pop that over in the chat.
Yeah, okay.
And I just
Morbid posted it too. Morbid posted the link on his.
Perfect.
I just want to put this out there. If we can change even one mind about what the actual story is, then we've done good. Just one person, you know what I mean? Then we've done a good job. You know what I mean? Made one person open their eyes to what the true story really is, and how she's a fake and a liar, and there's no proof of it. Just one person, and we did well. So
That's why I like the idea of the cards with the QR code. It will change someone's mind.
Yeah. Do you know how many people in my chat, you know, they would come in and they'd be like, "No, I think I support her." And I'm like, "Do me a favor. I've sent them so many times. You've been in there. Go watch Becca Scoop's videos and please come back to me." That's how I got Spencer. Spencer has been with me ever since that day he came up there, and he was a Gypsy Rose fan. He was, you know, felt bad for her. And I said, "Do me a favor, go watch Becca Scoop's videos and come back to me." And I never thought the kid would come back. And lo and behold, 2 days later, he was like, "I'm back." I watched him, and it opened his eyes so much. And he's been
Oh, I love that.
since. And that's so many people I've done that to. Like, go watch those videos and come back to me and we'll discuss them. Like, it's been such an aid for me having Becca Scoop's videos, so I can help change people's minds or get them to see things from different perspectives. And so it's been such a tool for that as well. So yeah, that's how we got Spencer. Spencer in here. He was here before, but yeah, that's how we got.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, Spencer.
Right? There you go, Spencer. And he's been here ever since. It's been a couple of months now.
I love
Yeah.
that. I wonder,
Hey, Spencer.
do we have, is he here? Oh, hey, Spencer. Do we have a way to get Becca Scoops in on this panel?
Yeah, is she in here? We have to get her on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know if she's in here. I don't know. But I was just saying, like, to have her contribute to this conversation. I don't know if you have a way of just saying, like, hey, do you have time to jump in here?
Mm-mm. Anybody?
Can you email her?
Somebody want to email Becca Scoops and ask her to join this live?
Yeah,
Sometimes
that would
she's
be
in.
awesome.
Sometimes she pops in here. She did
I
last
would just
time.
love to hear because I don't know if you guys want to recap Morbid's live from last night. I didn't watch. I was in the middle of some stuff, so I really wasn't on my phone and I haven't been on much today. So I don't know really, what the plan is, what the conversation was as far as that. So I was curious about, Becca's take on everything.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm always, even if I had my own live, I got Morbid playing in the background. I'm always in Morbid's lives. Tell me why last night I missed it, and that was the one I really needed. So you know what I mean, to be there for. And
I know, right? Yeah, I totally missed out too. But just so you guys know, he did let me know that he's going live tomorrow specifically about this. So if you guys want more information, you want to see what the conversation is about, or you want to get involved, definitely make sure that you guys are following Sir Morbid X on YouTube and join in on the live stream tomorrow. You can turn your notifications on. It'll let you know when he goes live. I think it's usually like 5 o'clock like California time and like 8
yeah, I know it's
like
like
Eastern.
7:45, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow about that.
Yeah. We'll all be in there in the chat. This way we can get all the information too as a group, and we can all make sure that we're all spreading the correct information and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Everybody's who's in here, please be in Sir Morbid's chat tomorrow evening. This way, again, we can get the information correct. And even if you can't go, we can make sure that we're spreading the correct information and stuff like that. So yeah.
And he does save his lives. So if you can't make it to the live afterwards, if you want to watch it, you can. And maybe if you can't watch the whole thing, we can figure out what timestamp they speak about it as well.
Oh, my foot
definitely.
is
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Pins and needles. Ah. Oh.
No. But I was gonna say too, also because I'm probably gonna watch the replay of Morbid's live from last night so I can catch myself up. But you guys can do that as well because, like they were saying, he saves his lives. So if you guys want to find out what was said last night, you can go to his channel here on YouTube and you can get all that information, which I need to do too. So, yeah.
Let me also, guys, if you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. If you're in here watching and you like it, please subscribe to the channel. But also, please subscribe to Miss Canceled, Miss Pink Pony, and Miss Mercy. Because I really do, guys. I appreciate you guys being up here and helping out.
Definitely. Sorry, I was like late coming in, but I was like, oh, that's perfect timing.
And Jack, I see Jack. Jack finally woke up. She's here.
Oh my God, Jack, your video today had me dying about Gypsy's Christmas wish list that you're sending her. Oh my freaking God. Did you guys see her video?
That was insane. I cannot with Jackie. It was crazy funny.
I'm telling you.
So funny.
That's so funny. Did you see the urn?
Oh my God, that was the best part. Like literally it took my breath away. Like I was wheezing. I was like, oh my literal God, I'm gonna fall on the floor right now.
I had hair dye in my hair. I was laughing so hard I got hair dye all over my curtain. Yeah. That's how hard I was laughing when I saw it. I was like, she was killing me.
It was hilarious.
It was. But all right, guys, I'm going to close this down now. It's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's late for me. So thank you guys, everybody who's been here in this live. I appreciate you all. I will probably, guys, go live again over here on YouTube. What's today? Thursday?
Today is, yep.
Probably Morbid goes on Sunday, right? Probably before Morbid on Sunday.
Yeah. Sweet pregame.
We'll pregame here and then bring it over to him when we're done. But thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Guys, thank you so much. Somebody remind me. How do I get
welcome. Have a good night.
I don't know.
Guys. Am I gone?
Bye.